to speak into this because I can't hold it and hold
You want me to
that.
lower that for you?
Yeah.
I got you.
Thank you. Yes. Let me know if I'm all right on that. I'd like to update our efforts to achieve compliance in the hamlet of Big Indian with the town's zoning regulations. As you recall, we had 3 issues. The boarded up store. The front has been completely boarded up and there are only 2 windows that at the moment the plastic has blown out. The back is enclosed with a 4-foot-high chicken wire fence. We'll keep the chickens out. I'm not sure how much deterrent it would be to kids who want to get in trouble, but there's definitely an effort's been made to minimize the attractive nuisance. The illegal 24/7 yard sale, the retail sales have stopped. The owner was given, as I understand, till mid-November to move the accessory structures. So that's great progress. The Big Indian Service Center. We agree on one point. Junkyards are illegal throughout the town, regardless of the zone. When I began this process 5 months ago, I had hoped to avoid involving the courts. I had hoped that a small committee of town officials and the property owner could meet, determine the ultimate goal, and establish a reasonable timeline. The board, as you remember, called a special meeting. The town attorney stated that we didn't lack laws. What we lacked was aggressive enforcement. So the issues went to court. Some progress has definitely been made. There were 52 wrecked cars in the Big Indian Service Center in June. There are 32 wrecks now in October. The code enforcement officer assures me that it is his understanding that by mid-November the station will be in compliance with the code. Frankly, I'm a little concerned that there's no vision, no clear vision of what compliance will look like. Bear with me for a minute, it's not long, while I read a small portion of the Shandaken zoning code. This comes from section 83(1), and it's kind of the introductory legislative intent. I quote, "A clean, wholesome, attractive environment is declared to be of importance to the health and safety of the inhabitants and the safeguarding of their material rights against unwarranted invasion. And in addition, such an environment is deemed essential to the maintenance and continued development of the economy of the town and the general welfare of its citizens. It's further declared that the unrestrained accumulation of junk motor vehicles is a hazard to such health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the town, necessitating the regulation, restraint, and elimination thereof." As I look at Shandaken's code regarding motor vehicle repair shops, this is section 83-3, it states the following: "A motor vehicle repair shop which is registered as such with the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles cannot have more than 12 motor vehicles located on the premise at any one time. Furthermore, these vehicles are incidental to the operation of the repair shop. In other words, these vehicles are in the process of being repaired. The fact that you call your business a service station does not give you the right to have dozens of wrecked cars strewn about your property, negatively affecting the value and safety of neighboring properties. Aside from the visual impact, we have to be concerned about the fact that there is no effort to contain leakage of liquids, gasoline, transmission fluid, oil, etc., to prevent these from seeping into the ground and eventually finding their way to the stream that abuts the property and the wells of neighboring properties. Come mid-November, will the court and the code enforcement officer be satisfied if we're down to 12 wrecks? The Big Indian Service Center is not a body shop. They have specifically pointed out that they do not salvage and reuse parts. In our opinion, based on what is written in the code, there should be no wrecks. If we can reach that goal, I know many neighbors in the hamlet would be happy to assist in providing year-round buffering and landscaping that, by the way, is prescribed in the code. The result will be a wholesome, attractive environment we are all working towards.
Thank you.
Marty, I just had one question.
Yep.
On the illegal 24/7 yard sale, that owner was given until mid-November to move accessory structures. Is that move or remove?
Well, you're allowed to have a certain number of accessory structures, and I'm sure Howie can explain it better. But you can't have as many as he has, and you can't have them as far forward as he has them. So he has to move them. How many he can end up with, I don't know.
But he can't operate that business
Right. He
anymore.
has stopped selling. It's
So that's
not
done.
operating business. It's just the structures that haven't yet been moved.
Yeah, he's agreed to shut down the retail sales, which is illegal. And he's limited to 3 accessory structures. The closest any accessory structure can be to Route 28 is 100 feet from the center of the road. So I advise him anything that remains has to be at least 100 feet from the center of Route 28. And he's only allowed to have 3. I think he has 5 or 6 right now. And he's agreed that he will shut down the operation of running the yard sale. We gave him until November, I don't know, maybe around the 18th, sometime in that, to return to court, and we'll see what the progress is, and hopefully he'll have it all removed by then.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Any other written public comment? Sorry.
I'm Brian Powers. I'm going to respond to Joe to the comments you made.
Brian?
Yeah,
I can't
don't
hear you.
touch it.
And please address the board.
I'd like to just clarify a couple of things with respect to this proposed debate that we are going to have this candidates evening. I was initially approached by Eddie Donahue, who's representing Joan, about the prospect of holding an event here in this room, which would be a candidates event on the night of October 21st. And I immediately told Eddie that I was happy to do that. And then I also thought that the other candidates running for office on the Democratic ticket would also like the opportunity to participate in that event. So we've had some discussions, all of us have had some discussions. Joan and I have had some discussions by email. Rob and I have had discussions about it. I've talked to Don Brewer about this immediately on having the event proposed. I think everybody is happy to participate in this event. What surprised me about it and what seemed to cause confusion initially was that I was asked to participate in an event here at Town Hall, which I agreed to, and the next week I read in Joan's paper that the event was scheduled for the Emerson. And I thought that that was a problem, Joan. You're aware I thought this was a problem. I'm happy to hold an event of this sort at either venue. It doesn't matter to me. But I think that realistically, before we move these events out in the public space of Town Hall, we should discuss it collectively. And there are 6 people, all of whom are in the room here right now. There are 6 of us who would be participating in the event. It's Rob, myself, Vivian Welton, Peter Piscofani, Kyle, and Ken. We're all here. So my question to all of you collectively is, what should we do about this? What do we want to do? Do we want to move the public dialogue out of this room and into other venues, or is this our public space? And is this, we have the ability to do live cablecast from this space. This has turned out to be a good venue, as far as I'm concerned, for our town for a very long time to hold televised events. And if there's a reason why we can't do it here, I'd like to try and understand what that reason is, and let's figure it out together.
I'm not going to get into tit for tat right now with this issue right here. Again, as I explained to you, I'm not running the Republican Party. I know you wear 2 hats, being the chair of the Democrats for Shandaken, as well as running for supervisor. The waters get a little muddy in that sometimes in the discussion. So again, we're set to meet on the 21st, as far as I know, from our candidates and from Don Brewer, that we're ready to go, but you can still have that discussion. I mean, this is what, I understood what this was from September, beginning of September, when I was first contacted, I think, maybe late August.
Okay.
So,
I'm not sure I'm not sure what date I was contacted, but in any case, you know, as I say, I'm happy to have the event in whichever venue. Are we at a point here where we're saying we don't want to do this at Town Hall anymore? Because if we are, maybe that's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna, thank you, Brian, for your comment, I'll just leave it at that. And I just don't understand, you're saying you don't care where it's held, but then you care where it's held. That's what I'm hearing, but anyway.
I think I'd just like to hear a reason articulated. Joe, maybe you want to articulate this reason for us, why we want to move this out of Town Hall.
This was never scheduled for Town Hall, not from day one, and you were never asked for an event at Town Hall. We have never done these events in a public building that taxpayers have to pay for. We have always done them in private buildings. Furthermore, we have done them in buildings which are properly suited to the live broadcast of radio with carpeting and things like that, with the live internet connections and all of the different things that we need, the public sound system. It was scheduled like this from day one, and this is not a Town of Shandaken sponsored event. I only brought it up here because I wanted the town board to understand that I had never asked for use of their town hall for a public, an event that the Catskill Mountain News and WIOX were sponsoring. And then all of a sudden, my event was moved into the town hall. That's not the way it was originally proposed. It's not the way it's ever been done.
Right. Thank you. You can, again, everybody's here. You can settle it.
We can, as far as I'm concerned, can I just propose we maybe 6 of us stay after the meeting and come up with a solution to this tonight?
Again, I'm going to say that Don Brewer needs to be here as the chair of the Republican Party as well.
Okay.
He's not here. Any other? Thank you for your comments. Any other open public comments?
I'd like to say thank you to Rolf Reese for serving
Yes,
many, many
absolutely.
years, serving the town. Thanks, Rolf.
I'd like to send a thank you to Sandy Patterson, although she's not leaving immediately. We're very happy to have had her with us for the time that she's been here, and I'm very sad to see her go.
Yes.
She's got a much better job opportunity ahead of her that she's looking forward to, so, and we don't blame her.
So you have to become the secretary because you always get a much better job when you leave that position. Annie did too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I got a question, Rob.
Yes.
I noticed, remember last month there was the resolution not to have political signs posted on your lawn, but I have seen a couple of spots along 28 where there are signs, and I'm wondering if, does anything get done about that, or is it just, you know?
It's really just a neighborly, we say it every year, it's a neighborly request. You can't stop it.
It's not enforceable.
It's not enforceable, it's not a law, and it's allowed. I mean,
When it doesn't happen, does someone from the town say, hey, listen, we kind of hoping that you would hold off?
Yeah, somebody sitting at this table tends to make phone calls.
Yes, all right, okay.
Well,
I'm just wondering.
I posted on my Facebook page and 3 people I knew took theirs down, so. You know, I don't like to bother people. There is a place that, I mean, I don't want to, certain people, you know, you don't want to bother. They either don't go online or they don't know. And if it's a different party, you know, it's a shady area.
Yeah.
Their chairman should go to them.
It's
So, you know, for that
memorializing.
party or whoever. But I do call people, my friends, and let them know. Sometimes they take them down, sometimes they don't. What are you going to do?
Right.
But if Hunter Mountain puts up a sign in our town and Catskill, Taste of the Catskills, school signs are gone. That's me. They're all in the shed back there if anybody needs them.
Technically, that's Howie, because you're not.
And Howie designated me as his official sign taker. Right? Remember that? Howie's busy enough.
Okay, with that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting in memory of Eva Quick and Tanya Smith. entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Happy Halloween.
You guys have a Halloween party? Yes.
I had to be the signature.